And always, whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of snow and blowing snow, especially this morning. Otherwise cloudy and windy this afternoon. We'll see a high of around 23. Tonight, mainly cloudy and cold. We'll see a low of around 9. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies in the morning, and a slight chance of snow in the afternoon. We'll see a high of around 33. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea inside our 93.7 The Ticket studio is now open 7 days a week. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sundays, you can enjoy burritos, cinnamon rolls, fresh brewed coffee, delicious tea, or even their coffee and cream ale. Sold exclusively at the Ticket Mill location. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the weekends, right here at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Welcome in to the Ahman Green Show, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. 12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska esports coach.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
Here is your host, Ahman Green.
What's up? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ahman Green. Got my man Harrison on the ones and twos in Lincoln. How you doing, Harrison?
Doing good. It is getting cold and miserable up here in Lincoln, though. For everyone that's up here around here, I'm sure they know it. The roads are not great. Shout out to the city of Lincoln. I know doing the best they can. But, yeah, we got some pretty rough weather coming here our way. When are you getting back to Lincoln there, Ahman?
Actually, this weekend. So,
oh, my Lord. You could have timed it any worse. You're going to pull up right to where we're starting to get into the negatives consistently. I think a -2 might be the high for one of the days of the weekend here. maybe even sooner than that. So you didn't quite time it up too well. You're going to be heading into the real cold, but you're used to it.
It is what it is. And -2 to me, coming from Wisconsin, still having thick blood, it's going to feel like 20 degrees. Oh man. So I've been seeing updates because I noticed I got an alert from my work email at university that campus was closed because there's a pre-session going on. There is classes that are open and active right now, and it was like don't come to campus today. We have winter advisory and all that rigmarole. I would say all that rigmarole.
Yeah, we had some high school games already canceled as a result, and it's getting to that time of year. You can usually bank on a few of those as we get into the January and February, but since we're kind of getting through the weather here, let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of college football. Just give me your overall thoughts. Michigan beats the number 2 Washington team. Surprisingly enough, the number 1 team, when they're facing the number 2 team, was actually 0-3 up until Michigan was able to take down Washington 34-13. Initial thoughts on what appeared to be a dominant performance from Michigan, especially early on.
The game went close to what I thought it would. Washington did put up a fight. Phoenix Jr., he was up to snuff, up to par, I would say, being a competitor out there. He was 27 for 51, 255 yards and a touchdown, and might have had a couple more there that his receivers dropped.
Yeah,
coming out of a route. I believe it was Jalen, not Jalen. Was it Jalen? No, that's a recess running back. Dylan. I think it was Jalen McMillan. Yeah, he came out of his route the wrong way. He kind of came out with his inside shoulder instead of turning to the outside shoulder. So he kind of had to pirouette around and try to catch the ball. And so there's a few that play right there. You score that, then it's a different game. But then defense tried to do their best, but I would say Michigan's offensive line, man, and Donovan Edwards getting the holes that he was able to get. I mean, you could drive a Mack truck through those holes that he had running down the field. And so the game itself kind of went like I thought it would go, because Michigan, 3 years ago, they got beat up, right? They win the Big Ten, dominate the Big Ten, and then get to the CPC. What's going on over here? Get to the college football playoff and just were dominated by Alabama in that first year for them. And so now you saw the adjustment. You saw the reprogramming. Okay, this is what we got to do now, because this playing against Bama most likely is going to be the team, or Georgia, the teams that we got to ride through in the SEC, ACC teams are not giving up no ground. They're going to make us earn it. And so they had to. They did that. And they went through Alabama, stopped them, slowed them down, got the victory, and then did the same thing here against Washington, which, like I mentioned prior to talking about it, was that Washington. Remember, I need you to be quiet, okay? Trying to manage a 4-year-old here. But like Washington, like I mentioned, to manage their team in terms of being a defensive team or an offensive team, trying to score on them or trying to keep them from scoring, it was gonna, like I said, it was gonna be an interesting thing to find out if Phoenix Jr. and the receivers gonna be on the same page and make plays, but they weren't. They're just off, and that was because of Michigan's defense, playing hard, playing tough, not giving up anything. Michigan being third in the red zone throughout their college, throughout this 2023-2024 season was a big, drawing factor to that. When they got in the run zone, it got tough for Phoenix and that offense for Washington. Johnson, the running back for Washington, Dylan Johnson, he tried his best effort to get out there. He still tried to run on that bad foot from previous week, and he did his best, but it was still, tough sledding and just the power, just the effort, and then just everything that I talked about off the field. You could see that coming to a head for Michigan once they got once they got the turnovers in the second half. It was pretty much a done deal. The pick, it was almost a pick six, but the big interception that went for like 70 yards, got tackled on the 20. Seeing those plays happen, and that when I saw that play, but it was really when I saw Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, their two big runs, and both of them having 2 touchdowns apiece. The run game is what dominated. They had over 300 yards to the pass game, 140 for total for the game for JJ McCarthy. So knowing that, no surprise, because that offensive line is built tough. Harbaugh, his brother, Shanahan, even though they're both pros, they all have that same makeup of building a team that's defense is hard hitting, and their offense, if anything, they're going to run the ball down your throat and then have a pass game if they can. And they do. They had all those traits to it in this game on yesterday. So it was like I said, great game to watch. It was competitive, but it wasn't a blowout. But blowout. It was just the things were kind of decided towards the end of the game.
Yeah, 14 for Michigan in that fourth quarter, like you said, is a situation where you knew if it was a 3rd and long, 4th and long situation, Michael Penix Jr. was going to drop back and try to get the ball out to keep the game alive. But it did get away from them towards the end. And you talked about Michael Penix Jr. He played okay. It felt like they shot themselves in the foot a lot more. He talks about some dropped balls, some miscommunication, 21 for 51, 2 interceptions and a touchdown. J.J. McCarthy, he might have had one of the easiest jobs in a college football championship game I've seen in a while. I mean, credit to him. He did what he needed to, but 10 for 18, 140 yards. He didn't have to really impose himself on the game. Michigan was just dominating the line of scrimmage. Whether you believed it or not, I think 3 years in a row, that's probably been the best interior. You want to talk about the trenches. Michigan's been one of the best at it going 3 years in a row now. And they just completely dominated. And then you talked about Edwards a little bit. To me, it almost looked like Washington was a little bit surprised with Edwards early on, because you go up against a guy like Corum, very patient runner. If you stay in your assignments and your gaps, if you stay patient, Corum is a lot more of a patient runner. Edwards gets into the game and he sees the holes clogged. He's not patient. He cuts it back right away. And there's just open daylight on that long run. There's no one on him. All his assignments that just couldn't account for him. And he was just caught out there wide open. I think the speed surprised him a little more as well. I think Edwards has got a little bit more speed on him compared to Corum.
A little longer. He's a little longer.
Yeah. And you saw that when he broke out to the outside, the pursuit angles by Washington on Edwards were just not great in that second quarter. I think they really got caught off guard there with having a 1-2 punch like that in Corum and Edwards. Having that kind of 1-2 punch, how much does that actually throw a defense off? Having two running backs with a little bit of different styles, because that's something that Nebraska has always kind of been power heavy. But every now and then, especially in years recently, we've had more of a running back by committee, that 1-2 punch. What are some of the pros to that style of offense?
The pros is for the offense is the fact that defense has to be honest. They can't be either super aggressive or they can't just lay back on their heels. And it makes them adjust to the running backs if they're going in and out of the game, kind of like Donovan and Blake were. And so now they got to, look in the backfield. Okay, number 2's back there. Or was it 26 for Donovan Edwards? I think he's 26 or 20. So you got to make sure you check the backfield so you know how each runner hits the hole, because they hit the hole differently, like you mentioned. And so that is what keeps the defense honest. And so if they're not on point, they're thinking that it's Blake and it's Donovan or vice versa, and then they hit the gap or hit the wrong gap a certain way, then that, as you saw, the holes just open wide open, because you saw overcommittal from the safeties and the linebackers, and then the linemen. It made the linemen's job a lot easier. They just took them where they wanted to go. They were blitzing to the outside, just pushed them outside, and then that whole opened the first touchdown run for Dodd for Everett opened up, and then boom. All he had to do was basically outrun everybody to get to the end zone. And so having those plays like that, then for Washington, already behind early, then the mental part of the game of being in a big game, all that starts to lay heavy on a player and a coach. So you're trying to make plays that are not there. You're trying to force the ball. That's where the interceptions came from, trying to get the ball there. He had a guy, Phoenix, like the second interception late in the game. Before the big run. Okay, yeah. He had a guy it was in the red zone. He threw the guy who picked it off. It was a tight end sitting right in the flat, just 5-6 yards away from the receiver he was trying to hit. If he hits that tight end, you get a first down. At least you keep the ball. It's in your possession, and now you're maybe on the 10 or 15-yard line instead of an interception and Michigan going the other way.
Yeah, and that's, again, with Michigan, it's just their defense. I think that was just the best part about that team all year long. No team got 28 points. I think 25 might have been the highest. I think they might have been able to keep everyone under 25 points, 15 games playing elite opponents. And just for everyone listening to, Michigan also had the 3 most watched college football games this year. Obviously Washington, and then when they played Ohio State and then Alabama. So they got 3 of the most watched games in college football this year. quite a momentum run for Michigan in this program as they go undefeated. But looking at that, you're talking about the run game. You saw Washington early on have 2 safeties over top a lot of the times, and they did make adjustments. You saw them having to start bringing up those safeties to help out with the run game, and that's kind of to my point where JJ McCarthy, like that gives other programs hope out there that you don't necessarily need what we hope to have in Dylan Raiola and this fantastic quarterback, which I'm sure we're all excited for that. But we just kind of saw right then and there that you don't necessarily need to have the most elite quarterback to win it all. I mean, JJ McCarthy, he's good. He's a good game manager, but he doesn't have, those crazy intangibles that gets everyone excited about a Drake May, Jaden McDaniels, or obviously Michael Penix Jr., who he just went up against. But no, just a simple game manager trusting in the offensive line. And then you look at the recruiting numbers for Michigan over the years. That's not necessarily your top 5, not even top 10 team in terms of recruiting power. It's just development. So I do think, despite what your feelings may be about Michigan with all the scandals that were going on this year, it does lay out some sort of blueprint in the future for some of these other schools to find a way to get it done. How much does Michigan winning this show other programs that you don't necessarily need that elite quarterback? Do you think we'll see kind of a shift in some of these philosophies that these Power 5 programs have and a little bit more Michigan-esque? Or do you think that everyone's still going to be in the mix, just trying to get that quarterback, and then we'll start step 2, step 3, step 4?
I would want to see that, because obviously then the attention kind of goes to the run game and O-line and the running backs, right? But I think there's too many egos in college football, high-level college football, so Division I that's going to be in the college playoff, and NFL, because – but it's better. I say it's better from my time on the football field till now. So I think there will be a little resistance, but they'll have their teams. It'll be the teams in the schools that will have what we feel as, I want to say management, because JJ did more than that. He played well. Even though he didn't have big numbers, he played well. He played within his game. And so you will have now, like you said, the signal goes out to a lot of colleges where, and as a player, you know this, you don't need top players at the time of recruiting, a 3-star, a 4-star, you get all that rating stuff. Yeah. But when you see a player, you watch enough film on players, when you got an athlete among a football player, a baseball player, basketball, volleyball, whatever, track. Once you see enough film, you and you don't care what the rating is, because I see what I see on film. And you want to see a certain thing from the way you coach teams, offense, defense, linebackers, D linemen, offensive linemen, fullbacks, wide receivers, quarterbacks. You'll see it within the first 5 minutes of watching film on a player. So Harbaugh, when he was recruiting Jay McCarthy years ago, he saw what he saw on film. He either was, regardless of his game, the legacy behind him and his brother, his mom, his dad, athletes, a family full of athletes. So that's one thing where at the end of the day, regardless of what this kid do, I want him on my team because I already know he can play. 2, I know he has the mentality. His dad was a Super Bowl champion. I'm pretty sure he somehow laid a little bit of that knowledge, and them kids watching their dad play in Super Bowls, in Pro Bowls, and being on, at practices. I'm pretty sure they were able to absorb that type of information. We got Christian doing what he's doing. JJ's doing what he's doing. There's a few other younger ones or in between each other that maybe didn't play football, decided to go in other avenues. But when you know it as a coach, as a player, as a scout, watching and following, and then how they carry themselves when they're in a game playing. And you saw that from day one with JJ McCarthy. You saw last year, I say a year ago, it was the youth that's in him. He had to learn some things. The good thing is he had Blake Corum, he had Donovan Edwards, he had some fantastic wide receivers, and then he had a defense that where he didn't have to lay everything on his shoulders. Be like, man, I got to come out here and I got to throw for 400 yards a game. I got to have 3 touchdowns. I go out there and be the athlete you are. The plays will come, and I'm pretty sure John Harbaugh was okay with, or Jim Harbaugh was definitely okay with that, because the way he coaches, he wants the players to give them. He allows the players to be themselves, and then he develops them into the athletes he know they can be, because he was an athlete. He was a quarterback, college and pro, so he knows how to bring them along, just like any former athlete that understands the type of athlete and product they have, and then know what to do with them, how to mold them and get them to where they need to be, where they're now at. Now, all these players, not just the quarterback position. For all the players on this that have been coached by these coaches on the Michigan staff, they all are pro level because of the experience from Jim and everybody trickled down from there of learning how to be a professional and then how to play their positions the right way, minus all the stuff that obviously we know that happened this season.
Yeah, and even with all the stuff that happened this season, I think that's one of the things that really helps Michigan. It's a lot of it's just the small things. It's a very tight-knit group. They don't let a whole lot of that noise from the locker room get out. If a lot of the discussions stay inside, a lot of the drama around Michigan wasn't from inside the locker room. It was from people on the outside looking into Michigan. So that is one thing about that group, and you have to give credit to Jim Harbaugh. He just knows how to win. At one point in time, you could get tickets to the Brick House, go watch a Michigan football game with the purchase of a Coke. And that's how bad that program was. At one point in time, that was a real offer to get that place, just get some people.
I remember that. They got beat by Appalachian State.
Yep. That's that time period. And that's where that program was. It was bad. It was losing all of its, I don't want to say it was losing its blue blood prowess, esteem, whatever you want to call it. But it was kind of getting into that Nebraska territory of what once was a great program, now struggling to have any sort of success. With Nebraska football, we've always had the fans. With Michigan, they were getting to the point where the fans weren't even showing up anymore.
Right.
So to see them be able to turn it around, you do have to give yourself some credit. But with this hindsight being 2020, looking at a Georgia team who didn't get in, that was 29-0. Do you think that we would have, that if they were to replace probably a Texas or Alabama, you think Georgia would be in that championship game, possibly winning it all? Because I still have the feeling that Georgia might have still been the best team out there.
Yeah, no, I believe that Georgia was that team. They got slipped up at the wrong time. And way everything, the ball bounces, the way how voters vote, how the college playoff works out. They were just an unfortunate victim. But obviously, when you saw that game, their bowl game, they prepared, and you heard through the interviews of the coaching staff of that team, Kirby Smart, were saying, hey, we practice. And some of the players said, we practice just like it was the national title game, which just like it was the college playoff. We didn't change nothing, and that's how teams need to play, or that's how teams need to practice. I say practicing like you're playing the number one team every week is what we did, and what I expressed to my esports players. I'm like, you got to, regardless of what the team that that you're about to play against, and they may not be that good. So what? You treat them like you play against them like they're the number one team on your schedule. Because if not, if you have a little bit less respect for them, then they're going to show up. They're going to have an opportunity in our game then that gives them a little life. And if you do that because out of disrespect, then that's our problem. That means we're letting them, we're not giving them all their credit, regardless of what their ranking is. You play them like they're the number one team. So if they were, any number one team that comes into our facility, or we play online, or whoever, football field, baseball field, basketball court, we're going to play you like the number one team. So that's why we're going to get every ounce of us for 4 quarters. And then at the end of the game, and the way the game, goes, then if we are the dominant team, we are, but we made sure we gave that team 100% respect to go out there and compete against.
Yeah, and again, I understand, we can talk about that Florida State game. Yes, we understand you could argue about 20 key players for that Florida State team opted out of the bowl game, but that's where you give credit to Kirby Smart, and where you're talking about in that attitude that we're going to go out here and prove a point that everyone made a mistake for not putting us in the college football playoff. And I think that bodes well for them when it comes to recruiting, because now if you're Florida State, you have to have some answers for getting blown out the way you did. And I don't know if you just want to have the conversation of, we had 20 of our key guys. That's not a fun conversation to have when you're trying to get those new guys in. When you look at that Georgia team, you can say, hey, we fell short on the SEC championship game, but we were right there. If we were getting in there, we're just as good as all the teams in that college football championship bracket. But nonetheless, we have to throw it to break here. That's our thoughts on the college football championship. We do have Nebraska basketball versus Purdue on Peacock for all those listening. So you got to get your Peacock, maybe do your month trial if you haven't did that already for the volleyball season. I know a lot of people used up their free trial for volleyball, but you might have to use it again tonight because Nebraska
that's
basketball.
Me right there.
Yeah.
I've used up my free stuff with Peacock already. I'm like, dang it.
That's the hardest part now is that I get the argument is like you technically can save money, but keeping track of all those streaming services, because I did the quote unquote free trial for volleyball and I'm still paying for it now because they got some basketball games on there from time to time, but it is on Peacock, 8 o'clock, number 1 Purdue. They will be playing at the Vault versus Nebraska. We'll dive into that as well, but don't go anywhere. This is the Ahman Green Show. We got Ahman, host as always, streaming in. Harrison back at the 1040 Ticket Studios. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Are you looking for a new spot to relax and unwind? The Post, located on the south side of the Telegraph District on the corner of 20th and N Street, is perfect for a group hangout or a relaxing evening. The Post has plenty of exciting events open to the public, like Whiskey Wednesday and poker tournaments on Sundays. Looking for a spot for a private event? Ask them about their indoor patio. The Post, located at 20th and N Street in Lincoln.
Hey, it's Chad with the Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the all-new complete post-workout recovery, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today and try a free sample or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you know who to call when a plumbing issue arises. From frozen pipes to clogged drains, we can help you protect your home this winter. Give John Henry's a call today to schedule at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Start 2024 off on a high note by loading up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through January 9th is spend $40 and you'll get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3, and $1.50 off all KC Canning Company products. Plus,
Don't forget there are 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Doors Plus.
All right, welcome back to the Ahman Green Show. Host as always, Ahman Green, streaming in. Harrison back at the 1040 Ticket Studios, running the 1s and 2s back here. We do have Nebraska basketball tonight at 8 p.m. in the vault. They face number 1 Purdue. Good opportunity for Nebraska. Let's just be honest. This will be the 3rd big opportunity this year. You had a big shot versus Creighton, another big opportunity versus Wisconsin. You got another ranked opponent in Purdue here tonight. Obviously, there's a lot on the line here, but just thoughts going into this game. It's big for Nebraska. I keep saying this, but if you want to make the dance, you have to get some of these wins under your belt. It's a lot easier to do it against a Creighton team. Arguably, it's easier to do it against a Wisconsin team, but you weren't able to get it done those two. So now you're facing a number 1 Purdue. What does Nebraska basketball really need to execute if they're going to have a shot in winning this game?
Well, they just got to execute what they've been doing with their offense, and I say obviously defense with EB. Is it EB? Exactly. I'm saying that right? Yep. Yeah, EB. Being a tall guy, being the guy in the middle for Purdue, you got to test him, and you test him by being offensively sound, making sure you don't make it easy on him. So going to the cup and not, really doing nothing with the ball movement to give him an easy block shot. Move the ball around, make him work on his defensive side, because then maybe it wears him out for the offensive side. So where he's beat up enough and tired, and because he's ripping and running, trying to make sure he's blocking shots or defending guys one-on-one or pick and roll things, throwing different things at him to make his job a lot harder. And I think overall for the team, for Purdue, you got to do that because they work off of EB. When he's doing his thing, everybody else is working hard and getting shots and being the team they can be, because he's a middle guy, tall, can block a lot of shots. And when he does that, when he's on his game, then everything just flows for Purdue. So find a way to disrupt that. That's any competitor coming against another competitor. Find the best route possible to disrupt what they do successfully, to then give them a chance. When I say them, our Huskers, to give them the chance to get close in the game and get a win. Maybe come out with a win, because it went for the 3 games that we talked about. They basically split those first 2 games against Indiana and Wisconsin, and now they're facing they're on the road here, right?
No, they're at home.
They're here and they're in Lincoln for Purdue. So knowing that, this gives them a good opportunity to come out of that. And either way, if they come out of it, still a good push because of playing against some, like you said, really good Big Ten teams here.
Yep, and you're at home, right? Nebraska basketball, we're 10-1 at home. You listen to Eric Strickland talk about what it meant to him when he was playing at home, what it really means when you're defending your home court. And Nebraska's been good at this year. They're 10-1. The crowd has been able to get involved. Obviously, Creighton being that one loss. And I hate using the term perfect storm game, but that is what it kind of felt like with Creighton, the crazy shooting clip they're hitting at. But it's happened to a couple times now to you. So you can't keep calling on that card. What do you know? An AP top 25 opponent was shooting the ball really well. At some point, that's indicative of your defense. You have to really put in that extra effort because those teams that are ranked typically have guys that can go off in a moment's notice. So you got to push them a little bit more on the 3-point line. And you talked about it, Zach Edey. He's the guy that, stirs the drink for you. he pretty much sets up about all of their half-court possessions, just being the presence he is inside. A lot of inside out. If he has the mismatch, he'll probably just go straight up with it. But they are really well about moving around the perimeter without the ball. So that's what I'm talking about. If you don't want to, stay away from those quote-unquote where you're just blaming it on the other team shooting the ball really well, that's what Purdue's looking for. They're looking to get it inside and move the ball really well around on the outside. Just try to catch someone sleeping out there. I think it's a good opportunity for Rink Mast. We talked about how do you take Zach Edey out of his game? Rink Mast can shoot the ball. He hasn't necessarily been as efficient as he was to start the season. Coming back from surgery, you can anticipate it a little bit. But I think this is a big opportunity for him. Rink Mast, he comes from a winning program himself. I think if he can find a way to really stretch out Zach Edey, this will give the Nebraska Huskers a good chance to win the game. I mean, they lost to Northwestern. They got pushed really close by the Fighting Illini in Illinois just the other day. So this is a good chance for Nebraska. I don't want to look at this Purdue team as, some unbeatable giant. It's definitely within their cards to get it done. I think it requires a big game from Rink Mast. I think Casey Tominaga, he's going to have a certain amount of impact. He doesn't have to be the leading scorer, but you'd hope at least, 14, 15 points from him, and then just combine it with some good defense and rebounding. The Wisconsin game wasn't necessarily impressed by the rebounding. This is another opportunity to get it done, but I do worry a little bit. You look at Indiana and you look at Wisconsin, those last two games, they're really starting to find ways to punish Nebraska for doubling the post. And this is a game where you have arguably, not even arguably at this point, I think it's pretty well clarified, the best center in college basketball as of now in Zach Edey.
Oh,
If you want to double him, you got 2 games before you in Indiana. I know we beat Indiana, but they got a lot of good looks in possessions. By when we double the post, they'll send another guy to cut the basket, and they'll take that matchup between their forward and whoever our weak side wing defender is. And that's something to watch. See how Nebraska defends the post. If we double it, which it's Zach Edey, that might still be the way to go, because you're going to take the weak side help stop and as opposed to just getting Zach Edey whatever he wants inside. But it is something to watch. See how Nebraska, if they continue to double inside on Edey, how they try to remedy that backside help a little bit, because that's 2 games in a row they get torched on it. The Wisconsin one in particular, there's quite a few times where you're seeing guys like Demarcus Lawrence just getting caught in the center versus a power forward, or even at times the center in itself. So some things to watch for this Nebraska basketball game. If they're able to get the job done, I think that's going to make quite a few waves. You can get back into that tournament talk. Right now we're heading towards the first 4 out, which isn't great this time of year for Nebraska basketball, and when it tends to head in the south direction. So it's a good opportunity. Get some momentum. You're at home. You're 10-1 at home. Make it 11-1. Beat the number 1 team in the country. And then you have all eyes looking at Nebraska basketball. Third opportunity to do it. I think if you drop this one, it's really going to be hard to get eyes on this team unless you just dominate from here on out in conference play. But if Nebraska happens to get this win, what kind of wakes does that make and for their momentum going forward? And what's your kind of confidence level heading into this game?
Well, it'll just bring in a different attitude when you come into practice. When you come in to prepare, watch film of the previous games, it just gives you something, because obviously they're Purdue being a number 1 team, and college basketball is a little different from college football. So you have number 1 teams getting upset, or highly ranked teams getting upset all season long, and it doesn't change much. But for that team that wins, because for that team that loses, they could probably drop 1 or 2 notches. That's about it. But it won't be something that dictates because of how the bracket works come March. So it's a little different there. But for a team that's getting the victory, that confidence can just get there to a point where your confidence in your offense, confidence in your defense, players trust each other because they found a formula that works. Like, oh, we beat this team. This is how we did it. We played defense. We shot the ball good. Free throw, we took advantage of the charity stripe. That means every time we're there, we're 90% or more, 95% or more. So we're taking advantage of free shooting. And then wherever our strengths were, we were able to handle those as well, get those effectively going defensively, offensively, because then when they look at other teams, it's going to be a different frame of reference. We see Purdue, they're going to see Michigan State. They're going to look at those teams differently now within our conference, because that's where we're at, Big Ten play. So looking at the teams that usually are up against us and we always struggle, it's going to be a different feel going into those games if we get this win tonight. if and when we get this win tonight against Purdue.
Yeah, so definitely be sure to watch them again. It's on Peacock, a little different for everyone out there listening. If you want to support the Huskers, you can head to the Vault if you can find a way to scalp some tickets. I'm pretty sure that place, I'd imagine it's sold out. I'd have to get the numbers here during the break, but yeah, definitely check it out. Support the team. I do think this is still a very good team with a legitimate shot of making the dance. I don't even think it has to be close. I think they're good enough where if they just can get some more consistent play, I think they can find themselves there pretty solidly. But a big test tonight versus number 1 Purdue. Before we go to break here, let's talk a little bit esports. As obviously director of esports at UNL, Ahman Green here, host of the show. I know you guys are in a little bit of a lull period, but what does the esports world look like for you guys right now?
Oh, so we got everything kicking back off on Monday, I believe. We have the back coming back, big esports conference, and we have Overwatch starting on Monday at 7 p.m. kicking off. I don't know. I got to look on the website. I haven't checked it in a while to see who our opponent would be, but it doesn't matter. We got a game. We got to play against them. And as the format goes, so whoever we play on Monday, we play that same university, but in 4 different games: Overwatch 2, Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers, and then Thursday on Valorant. So Overwatch 2 on Mondays at 7, Smash Brothers on Tuesdays at 7, or any time that we made a schedule for the other team or even our team, because we might have students that might have class or can't get out of class at the time. Wednesday is Super Smash Brothers at 7, and then Thursdays are always Valorant at 7. And we have teams coming, more games coming in the fall. Call of Duty and I believe Rainbow Six Siege or Apex Legends will be thrown into the back as well. And so we have some some good conversations about that. And then for myself and a few of the students, Z, who is our school president, or I say program president, esports program president, and Jaden, and that is part of our Call of Duty team. He's the team manager for the Call of Duty team and player. I got asked to come out to Super Bowl week, and it's going to be, as everybody knows, Super Bowl this year is in Vegas, and so they're doing a Gamer Fest college fair, so we could bring our information about the Nebraska esports program and have have basically recruiting session out there in Las Vegas at the college fair. So I'm gonna speak on a few panels, but then also it's gonna be local area high schools in the Nevada area that will be coming to this event, so we can basically let them know that University of Nebraska has a program. We're giving out scholarships. This is what we're doing. These are the games that we compete in, and I'm your coach, and we have really good teams now that are competing in different conferences, and we're looking to add more people to our roster from everywhere. So if we get out there, kind of display what we're doing for Nebraska esports and Nebraska as a university, and so I'll make sure we plug this all the time here on the ticket, and then get some other news outlets to get coverage of us while we're out there, and get a lot of video and a lot of pictures taken while we're in Vegas.
Yeah, and you said that's for the Super Bowl weekend. You'll be down there doing all that?
Yeah, Super Bowl week. So I'm gonna fly in on Sunday or Saturday, and then Sunday I have an event where I'm gonna be casting for the HBCUs. They're doing a Madden tournament, I believe, at the HyperX Arena, which is the esports facility there inside the Luxor Hotel. I'm doing that on Sunday, and then the College Fair and the Gamer Fest, or the Gamer Fest is on Sunday, then the College Fair is on Monday and Tuesday, and then the kids, Jaden and Z will fly in on, I think they'll get there probably Sunday or Saturday, just like myself, and then leave out Tuesday afternoon. And then I'm there for a couple more days. There's a couple football camps they're doing for kids, local kids in the Vegas area that I'm going to be a part of as an NFL alumni. Get to coach one of the camps with my good friend and now I say coaching teammate, Dr. Jen Welter. So she was the first female NFL coach that Bruce Arians hired for the Arizona Cardinals back in, I believe it was 2016, 2015, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And she's wrote a book, and she has a foundation called A Day in the Life, where she does football camps for young women and little girls across the United States. And that's her foundation, and that's her cause right there. So I told her, anytime you need help, let me know. I was able to have her a part of my intro to sports media mass communication class this past semester. She spoke to the class, and then we reconnected, and she told me about this camp, and I said, hey, let me know if anything I can do to help. And she said, if you could come coach, I'll be in Vegas. I said, let's make it happen. And so now we're like I said, we're part of the same coaching staff. So I'm super excited. You can follow her on Instagram at Dr. Jen Welter. You can see me. I just made a post for her to advertise the event that's coming down for us.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. And I know you'll probably run into DP and Foreman. They'll be heading
Yes.
down there representing the ticket. Who knows? Maybe bring Foreman to a couple of those gaming things as well. See what his reaction is. See if you can, beat him in some of those games. I'm not sure. I think he's big on the NFL Madden. I'd like to see a one-on-one matchup. What that looks like.
I love it. Yeah, we need that down. As soon as we get stuff at the ticket, we'll be able to do that in-house. We won't have to do it in Las Vegas.
Yeah, don't tell Rico because we still need him to work. We can't have Rico just playing games all the time while he's clocked in. But nonetheless, we do have one unknown texter. We've answered this a few times, but just for anyone who's new, who's tuning in, how do I watch Nebraska esports and where do I get notifications?
Great question here. So we are at several places come next week. We will be on Nebraska Esports, our Twitch channel. Just like I mentioned, Nebraska Esports on Twitch and YouTube, and or Big Esports Conference. That's on YouTube and I believe Twitch as well. But every week, once the season starts, I'll be talking about it and I'll lay out everything here on the stream and the show. And I'll even put it in the chat too. Once I have it where I could copy and paste it, I'll throw it in the chat. But right now, it'll be on Nebraska Esports on YouTube and Twitch, and Big Esports Conference on YouTube there. And we got, I believe, like I mentioned in the fall, Harrison, that the LAN championship weekend will be in Columbus, Ohio, at their facility. So I'm excited about that. So we know right now at the halfway mark, we got 9 more weeks of games left. I know Smash has pretty much been the dominant team for us, but we have Overwatch been working through in the break. Really good practices, really good scrims. We'll hopefully work out the kinks there, get things rolling in the right direction. Valorant and Smash and Rocket League has all been, slowly getting the wheels turning again, getting out of our holiday break and to get back in this competition and try to get teams qualified to drive about 10 hours east to Columbus. I've never been to Columbus. I've been to Ohio. I've been to Cleveland. I've been to Cincinnati, but I've never been to Columbus. So I'm super excited to have a chance to drive there because I know we'll be driving for sure. Road trip out to Columbus for a LAN event and have some good time and meet a lot of the teams and coaches that we are competing against online and get to see them face to face. And I think we start to build that competition, but also that respect for one another as an organization, as a university, that we're competing together against each other and we're trying to win. But at the end of the day, we all know the same process of what we're doing at our esports programs at all the universities in the Big Ten and around the country, that we're practicing, we're putting in time, these students are students first. They're studying, they're getting ready, they're trying to pass tests, they're trying to get ready for life. But then as us coaches, we're trying to develop them and develop some of the other coaches that are on our staff, like the team managers that I manage here, get them better so they can learn how to be better coaches when they want to do it themselves.
Absolutely. So definitely be sure to check them out. And again, as we get closer, when we do have those matches, we'll be announcing those and tell you guys to go. Also, be sure to just follow him on Green. He's pretty active on there. He'll retweet, let you know what's going on with Nebraska esports. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and throw it to our final break here on the Ahman Green Show. Ahman streaming in, host as always, Harrison back at the studio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Landmark Implement is your local authorized John Deere dealer. Landmark's trained and certified sales staff will help you find the right equipment for your needs at a price that's right for you, all backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. Whether it's a tractor, planter, combine, an easy track lawnmower, or gator, every piece of equipment in pre-owned inventory is put through a rigorous inspection so it's ready to work hard for you. Landmark's team works together to make sure everything that is sold meets their quality standards. Learn more at landmarkhemp.com or stop into a local Landmark location and experience the Landmark difference.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting free workout for athletes and fitness enthusiasts who want the most out of their workout. Anarchy can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Start 2024 off on a high note by loading up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through January 9th is spend $40 and you'll get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3, and $1.50 off all KC Canning Company products. Plus, don't forget there are 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Doors Plus.
All right, welcome back. Thank you to Doors Plus for that sponsorship as always, and we're back for the last segment of the show. My man Harrison, what's good? What we got cooking?
Doing good. Just some quick notes. The Memphis Grizzlies season ended twice. Ended twice in the same season. You get Ja Morant back, the grand opening, and then shortly after he is undergoing a season-ending injury for a torn labrum, I believe, shoulder. So Ja Morant out. Some quick news there. Nikola Jokic continuing to be what I believe is the best person in the NBA.
Dominating.
Only took 3 shots versus the Pistons. He's very selective. That's how good he is. You know you're elite when you can be selective on the effort you're going to put in. He only takes 3 shots, but they get a win in resounding fashion anyways behind Jamal Murray's 27 points. Pistons, you could argue Spurs, kind of been those teams this year where if you need a win, that's who you hope to play on your schedule. They seem to kind of help be those momentum builders. In NBA news, I know LeBron's getting incredibly frustrated with the team. He's preaching patience. But let's talk about the Lakers, as they're always a fan favorite for most people to talk about the Lakers. Let me double check here where they're sitting in the standings, but they've been on a little bit of a skid themselves here. But with the Los Angeles Lakers, with the unit they have, they're sitting 18 and 19, not even above or at 500 anymore, sitting at number 10 in the Western Conference, winning about 48% of their games. 3-7 in the last 10. So that is where you're getting the patience from LeBron James. With the Lakers, how realistic is the shot for them to make any sort of run? It's kind of the LeBron effect where you don't want to count him out because it is LeBron James, but at the same time, they have been on a pretty nasty skid here. Losing to the Heat, losing to the Grizzlies, losing to the Pelicans, Timberwolves, you name it. They have, let's count back here. So yeah, their last 6 games, or excuse me, so 5-game losing streak they're on right now as it sits.
Yeah. I mean, it's something. This is where obviously basketball being not as physical, where you do have to, and then it's just as team oriented as any of the team sports out there. And at the pro level, you get a little hint of, it's a little bit of that ego that comes in that you gotta still not have it. But I've seen certain players starting with, you go to Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Bill Russell, you go back that far, where guys in basketball just had to be like straight up, like, hey man, what you gonna do? Like, are you gonna play? Are you gonna defend the guy that you're covering? And so you got to know when to pull and push on your teammates in that essence, because you don't want to insult nobody. You don't want to basically tee nobody off where they're not happy with you, or they don't want to listen to you anyway. So you got to find, it's that fine line you got to float on, because we watched the 30 and 30 of Jordan, The Last Dance, where he would literally lay into a guy physically and verbally. And Bill Russell did the same thing. I remember I know Mike Sherman had Bill Russell come in, talk to us one night before a game. And he would tell us, he would give Kuzi the business when he wasn't doing his job. He'd be like, hey man, what you doing? It was, I'm keeping it light. And so the NBA has that thing about it where I see it, and where teams are like this. They have the talent, it's not hitting. And it is what it is. I think where players got to realize, okay, I just got to know my role and do my role, do my job. Don't try to go outside of my realm of my position. Listen to what my coach is telling me, and then whoever the leader on my team is, and it's real easy. You can't miss who the leader on the Lakers is LeBron. So when he is telling me stuff, he's been down this road a few times. He's got some rings on, his finger at his house. So let me tune in. Let me be that player, even if it's AD, a guy that we know can be dominating. But sometimes even the best players have to be those role players, because once you realize that, then you understand the team concept. Sometimes you got to sacrifice your identity of who you are and be that player that needs to be stepping up in the middle, playing more defense, passing the ball more, or doing what you need to help this team win. And that's where sometimes players get lost, because as an NBA, it's less players on that court. So that means a lot of people are looking at you. They're making a ton of money. That's all factor in there. But you just hope that the best players don't let any of that, because those are the excuses to make, for themselves. So they don't do that, so they could still come out and be the top player that they can be in terms of AD, LeBron, and everybody that's on the supporting staff for that team.
Yep, and we'll wrap up here with one more note on the Phoenix Suns, another team who I feel like I was right about this. There's a lot of hype going into this team. Obviously, you got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and then Bradley Beal as well. That's 3 players, elite offensive playmakers. As you said, someone is going to have to give up the ball more than they're used to doing so. And you're seeing a team who, as most people anticipated, they're not great on defense. They can score a lot of points, but defensively, that's kind of been their biggest weakness. And rebounding, the same thing. Phoenix Suns, this was my argument the whole time. I get the argument, who the hell's going to guard the third guy? Who the hell are you going to guard? You have to guard people on the other side of the court as well. Yeah. And that's been the problem. They're right in times where if that third guy is Bradley Beal, they have a hard time matching up against it. But on the other end, you need defense. And I don't see it happening for this team as we wrap up here. Phoenix Suns, as they sit just above 500, 19-18. Is this the team that's going to get it together as we get closer to the postseason? Or do you expect this team to kind of fizzle out maybe as a play-in or an early low-seed playoff team?
Man, this is a team that last year I was hoping that they would go further, right? Hold on. I was hoping because they have the talent. Devin Booker, a guy that has just developed into that player. He is that competitor. When he gets hot, there are people comparing him to Kobe. And so it's there. So now you're just waiting to see. You got KD on the squad too. You have big guys in the middle that help them out. Grayson Allen, Bradley. So you have a squad that has done it. They did it for a stretch there last season, and even 2 seasons ago back in 2021. They did it where they were a problem to most teams in the West, and then once they got into the playoff, that's where things came to light. The East met the West. Defense was a little bit more priority than some of the West teams that they had competed against all season long, and that's traditionally how the NBA is. The West don't play a whole lot of defense, but the Eastern Conference teams do. And so when you got in the playoffs, that's when you kind of saw the train go off the rails there. But hopefully, for my sake, and even for their sake, I want to see good competition because they have the talent on that team to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to go ahead and wrap it up here. This has been the Ahman Green Show. And with the Phoenix Suns, I'm kind of right there with you. I think there's a chance for them, but someone's going to have to sacrifice a little bit, especially on that defensive side of the court, whether it's Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, or Devin Booker. Pick your poison. Someone's got to step up if they want to start changing the season, turning it around, because the net differential is about 2 points, exactly where they're at, about 500. So there's going to have to make some sacrifices on who's going to be giving up the ball, playing more in defense. But there's plenty of ball left in the NBA season, as well as college basketball. And we will still have the Nebraska basketball post game after Purdue tonight. So don't go anywhere. Plenty of ticket weeknights ahead. Shout out to Ahman streaming in, as always, the host of the show. I'm Harrison, back at the studios. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.
Yeah.